Taunton's 107.8 Tone FM. I think if I was to offer any advice, not that I'm really, qualified to offer advice to people like Bonnie Tyler, I would say stick to not doing Eurovision and stick to doing your own stuff because you're much better at it. Thank you. Right, it's 13 minutes past 10. It's Bank Holiday Monday. As I was saying earlier on, we've teamed up with SRG Magazine, which is a monthly magazine. And as part of the magazine, they have a restaurant review. They've got the restaurant review guide in the magazine. And we invite listeners to come and do a restaurant food review type thing. You go away, you get a nice free meal. And basically, you come in and you talk about it and let us know what you thought. And then that gets written up in the magazine as well. Last month, it was the turn of Daniel Mawer and his wife, Debbie. They went to do a review for us. Daniel joins me now. Hello.
Good morning.
How are you?
Very well indeed, thank you.
Nice way for you to be spending your bank holiday here with me.
Well, yeah, it's not too bad.
Are you going up to the fun day?
Yeah, the wife and daughter are already up there, so I'll be heading up there after this.
Okay, so... first of all, you live in Priorswood area of town?
Yeah, that's correct, yeah.
Okay. And what do you do? Where do you work?
I work for Somerset County Council.
Right. Okay, and you got in touch with us because you volunteered your services to do our restaurant review.
Well, I enjoy some food now and again, so I thought, well, it's helping out the community as well.
If I was going to be really rude and really cheeky, I'd say, yeah, you look like you enjoy food. But I won't, Dan. That's not fair.
That's all right.
That's not fair. So we sent you to the Ring of Bells on St James's Street, who I understand have undergone quite a few changes recently. And you had a nice meal there last week.
Yes, indeed, yeah, we did.
And first of all, how was it?
It was really, really nice. The restaurant, as you said, the pub's gone through a recent refurbishment.
Yeah.
I don't know whether it's new management or whatever, but the general manager there, Jamal Tahar, very nice gentleman. They've really done it really nicely. The atmosphere downstairs in the actual pub when you walk into it was really relaxed. We went on a Friday evening, and you can imagine sometimes on a Friday evening things can get a little lively. But we walked in, it was really nice and relaxed. People in there drinking at the bar, sat at the tables. Really nice.
So for those that have never been in the Ring of Bells, it's obviously on 2 floors?
There are two floors, yeah. I wasn't aware of that.
No, I wasn't aware of that.
They've done one of the rooms upstairs into a restaurant. They've split the restaurant. One part of it is downstairs, and the other part is upstairs.
Excellent, okay. And you mentioned about the warmth when you walk in, which I think is very important. When you go for a meal, I think that's quite important. You get a real sense of how the evening could pan out, don't you, as soon as you walk into a venue?
You do. It's difficult when you go into a pub that you don't go into regularly or maybe haven't been into before, and you walk in and people start looking at you. Sometimes you can feel a little bit uncomfortable, but there wasn't any of this. It was all sort of, you walked in, the bar staff were nice and friendly and smiled. People were there enjoying themselves in couples and in groups, just chatting, probably at the end of the day, and enjoying it.
Good. Okay, we'll talk more with Dan in just a second, but if you want to have a look at what they have to offer, then have a look at our Facebook page. We've posted their Facebook page up on our Facebook page, so you can quickly dive in and have a quick look around. And we'll find out exactly... Go on, just tease me with some of the delights that you had. You can tell us about it in just a sec.
Oh, a deep-fried camembert and a cheese board that you would die for. It was beautiful.
Okay, I'm getting excited just thinking about it. We'll find out what Dan thought of his meal and his partner's meal in just a second after Michael Bublé's new song, Beautiful Day, which will play next here at Tone FM. Legend that is Michael Bublé. It's a beautiful day on Taunton's 107.8 Tone FM. If I was a really cheesy DJ, oh yeah, it's a beautiful day, and it so is a beautiful day today at Bank Holiday Monday on Tone FM, but I'm not going to do that. But it is going to be quite nice today. It's 20 past 10. Hope you're well today. Maybe you're just surfacing after a thoroughly enjoyable bank holiday weekend so far. Yesterday was lovely, wasn't it? Hello, if you had a barbecue or whatever. That's what I did last night. So just feeling slightly delicate, I think it's fair to say. My guest this morning is Daniel Mawer, who has acted as our food critic, I think it's fair to say. Basically, we've teamed up with SRG Magazine, and if you've not read SRG Magazine, they've got a restaurant review in there. And basically, we invite listeners to go and do the review for us at a chosen restaurant. Now, the restaurant that was chosen was the Ring of Bells on St James's Street. Dan, you've already told us a bit about the atmosphere when you walk in and the warmth about it. And obviously, they've had a slight change. Now got the restaurant upstairs. But I suppose the big question is the food. What was it like? First of all round, it was pretty good, I guess.
All round, very, very good. Staff were
surprisingly good. I say surprisingly good. But
I don't
was it
know
better than you thought?
No, it's well, it's difficult because having never been to there before and knowing what it was like, you go in with an open mind.
Yeah.
What we had was lovely. It was exactly what we needed for that time of day in that situation.
So go on then. Tell us what you have for starters then.
Well, the wife decided to go for the antipasto platter, and it came out with a little, almost an individual mini loaf of bread that had been sliced up. So it was bread roll size, but it's still warm. It was fresh out of the oven, with some sweet potato chips and some salad that had a little bit of zing to it, and some goat's cheese that had different coatings on it, and she loved it. She's got to be a little bit careful at the moment because she's in the family way.
Oh, right, okay.
So has to
congratulations.
Thank you very much. Has to watch what she's eating. So goat's cheese, obviously being pasteurised, we had to check it was pasteurised. The staff happy to go away and ask the chef to make sure that the cheese was pasteurised. Came back and confirmed it so we could go ahead. I had the baked camembert, or deep fried camembert with a rocket salad, pine nuts and cranberries.
Oh, very nice.
And it was melt in the mouth. Yeah. It was beautiful. I mean, I cut into the camembert. The shell stayed as one piece, a delicately coated, crispy shell, and the cheese. Stop salivating.
I was just trying to picture this as you were you sort of dipping the bread in.
I was just dipping it into there, and the roasted pine nuts, caramelised pine nuts that went with it. It was
Did you have like an onion sort of chutney or anything with it?
No, there was like a tomatoey based, and it was really, really nice. Very nice, very refreshing. Not too much. Decent sized piece of camembert, just enough to get your juices. I was
going to say, it's very easy when you're hungry and you've maybe had a quick drink as well, just to sort of wet the palate slightly. It's very easy to overindulge in a starter, isn't it? I'm like that when I go to an Indian restaurant because, when I know that I'm going for an Indian, I don't eat all day because the first thing I like to attack is the poppadoms.
Yep.
Right, and it's very easy to fill up on the poppadoms.
Yes,
very easy.
Yeah, very, very easy. But this was the portion size was just right.
Good,
absolutely perfect. Set you up nicely for the main meal,
which consisted of what?
Well, the wife decided to go for steak. There is a very good choice on the menu from what you probably call your standard sort of British steak and chips, with a slight twist, sausage and mash, and she went for the steak and chips, triple cooked chips.
Triple cooked, all right.
Triple cooked, so they've cooked them 3 times, and so they're really nice and light and fluffy because they're proper chips, not the bought in a bag and chucked in but crispy on the outside as well.
Oh, nice!
And they were lovely. The steak she had done medium, perfectly done. And one of the places I've been to where the staff come out and ask, is the steak cooked to your satisfaction? Don't often get it. They often come out and say everything okay, but they actually specifically asked if the steak was cooked to the satisfaction.
Nice attention to detail, it sounds like.
Very nice. Again, had a side salad with it, a garlicky herb butter, and a Provençal sauce that you could or couldn't use if you wanted to, because it came out in an individual pot. So that gave you a choice as to how you wanted to have your meal.
And yourself, what did you have?
I went for what I call hunter's chicken, which is the chicken with the cheese and the bacon. But this was with a twist. It was like a Mediterranean
twist.
A twist. Yeah, it was goat's cheese and Parma ham.
Oh.
And the chicken was so moist, and the Parma ham was wrapped really nicely around the chicken. The goat's cheese had just melted. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Came with a side dish of pan-fried herbed potatoes, new potatoes, which were really, really nice and warm. All came out very, very hot. It was...
You're speechless.
I'm speechless because it was very, very nice. Again, portion size was perfect. At the end of it, you were thinking, I've had a meal, but I now have space for a sweet.
Okay, and we'll find out exactly what the sweet was after this from It Bites. Haven't heard that for a while. Great band as well. They were from, I think it was Whitehaven, or it was either Whitehaven or Workington. I remember that because I was up, when I went to school in Keswick, which is just down the road from Workington and Whitehaven, and they were big news at the time. Showing my age a bit there. It Bites, Calling All the Heroes on Tone FM, Taunton's 107.8 Tone FM. It's Bank Holiday Monday, 10:30. Darren Daly here till midday. My guest in the studio is Debbie Mawer, who's from Priorswood. He was doing a restaurant review for us. He'd done a review for the Ring a Bells pub. Went there for a nice meal the other night. And so far, so good by the sound of things. Finally, we're going to wrap it up talking about the sweet, the final part.
Yes.
Generally, the crowning part of any meal, I find.
Well, yes, indeed. It just finishes it off, and their sweet menu very good. Many choices, hot and cold, depending on what you wanted. The wife decided to plump for the traditional sticky toffee pudding. Yes, very, very nice. She couldn't finish it all, unfortunately.
Eyes bigger than belly.
Well,
although not so much at the moment. No.
But that meant I did have to help her out, and I can.
That must have been devastating for you.
Painful, very painful. And I went as a bit like yourself, a bit of a cheese fan. Yeah. I went for the cheese board, and the one thing that I often find with the cheese board is either there's an imbalance. There's either too many crackers or too much cheese. But they got this one spot on. There was 3 types of cheese, enough biscuits, some celery, some grapes, some lovely onion relish.
And how was it presented?
Presented on a slate.
Oh right. That's different.
A nice slate, nicely separated, and it. The presentation is a lot in this situation, and I just thought, yeah, this is really nice. I'm going to enjoy this.
I agree with you with the cheese board thing, where quite often, more often than not, in fact, that you get there's just too much on there.
More often than not, I find it's too much cheese, because then you have to pile it onto the biscuit or onto something else. And
I don't. I wrap it up and take it home.
Oh,
why doesn't that surprise you?
That doesn't surprise me. But yeah, all in all, fantastic evening. And to be perfectly honest, I have already recommended it to friends and colleagues of mine.
Well, that's brilliant, and thank you very much for being our reviewer of the Ring a Bells on St James's Street. And it's a job you could get used to, isn't it, really?
Oh, it would be dangerous.
But if you would like to be a reviewer for us, then basically the deal is you go to have a nice meal and then you come onto the radio and review it for us, and then you do a little write-up that goes in the restaurant review of SRG Magazine. You'll speak to my friend Dennis O'Leary, who will sort you out with that. Dennis, he's a top chap as well, isn't he?
He's a lovely
He's as Irish as they come. Anyway, Dennis, good morning. Daniel, it's been a pleasure. Thank you very much for doing that.
No, thank you indeed.
And I'm glad you enjoyed your meal. And if you want to have a look at the food that is available at the Ring of Bells, we've posted up their page onto our page on Facebook as well. Dan, sorry, you're waving at me.
Yeah, the only thing that I would have topped the evening off even better would have been if the brew house had been open and we could have gone to see a show.
Nice thought, yeah.
That would have been the ultimate. The food itself was absolutely brilliant.
Good.
If you're going to make an evening of it, it would be nice to have had the brew house there.
Yeah, it would
still.
have been.
But there we go.
Well, there's another saga that's ongoing. Anyway, Dan, thanks very much for that. And like I say, if you'd like to be a reviewer for us, just pop us a little message on our Facebook page. We could get in touch with you. And you never know, you could be our next reviewer in the next few months here with Tone FM, where it's 25 to 11.